Howdy out there, Dave Duford, and we are here today reviewing a top producer at the DIG agency's final expense sales call over the phone. If you're thinking about selling final expense and you wonder what it actually sounds like to sell over the phone, then this video is perfect for you to watch. One of the things we're going to do, especially in this video, is review the sales call, give you some tips on what's happening over the phone and why this particular agent is doing what he's doing. This agent, Josh, has been working with us for a good bit now. He is a top producer, consistently selling business every single week. So sit back, relax, take some notes, and let's begin.
Hello.
Hello, this is Josh. I'm calling you back with the final expense price quote you requested on Facebook.
Yes.
You looking for yourself or for a loved one on this one?
Okay, a couple of things here that are really important to note. Notice the tonality of Josh. This is kind of counterintuitive. Josh sounds pretty laid back. He sounds not super over the top excited like, the Orange Glow guy. So the idea behind this is to disarm the client with a person that does not sound like a salesperson. So from the tonality standpoint, that's why Josh sounds the way he does. The other thing you'll notice with our script is we go right into really what it is that they requested. We don't shield the fact that they requested a final expense quote. We ask, is it for themselves or for a loved one? And the reason we do this over the phone is because what we've learned after years and years of training final expense telesales agents, the sooner you get to the point, the faster you get to move along in the presentation and ultimately pitch more people throughout the day.
Just for myself.
Okay. And do you currently have anything in place?
No, I do not.
How long have you been looking?
So one reason we ask, do you have anything in place, is because we want to know if the person has existing coverage. There's a different word track that we teach our agents. And by the way, you can get our script for free at davidduford.com/ISS. And the word track we use is one for agents who are selling somebody who already has existing coverage. There's a different word track there. And then there's another one for people like this particular prospect who doesn't have any coverage whatsoever.
Probably just started last night because I won't be able to make any payments until next month. So I'm just trying to get some quotes so I know how much I need to have.
Okay. Yeah, we can definitely get you all set up with it today and get it started next month for you. That's happens every day around here. Is there any reason why you haven't got something in place yet, or is it?
So this is a reason why question. What is your reason why you haven't gotten coverage? We're trying to get and pinpoint the reason why she doesn't have a life insurance policy. Is it because it's a price issue? Is it because something has happened? These are important to uncover because these may present us objection issues that we need to overcome later on at the conclusion of the sale.
It's something you just been putting off for a while.
I had something in place. I was with, but after separation from my husband, I couldn't afford to pay my bills. I had to go through and eliminate some things. So
think about this. If you're hearing this as the agent is, what are you thinking may be the problem? Well, she let the policy go due to pricing, right? So things changed in her life. Her financial situation changed with her separation. So obviously, there's a financial consideration. Now, for me, and my advice to you is if you hear something like this, like I used to have it, meaning she believed in it but let it go because of pricing, I'm going to make an emphasis that this is important to buy. You already know the reasons why, but what's different about this is you're never going to be in another position to where the price becomes an issue because we shop around for you to find the best combination of price and coverage, whereas the other company, what they do is basically just sell one product. It's not always the best as far as price goes. And so this gives you a little bit of a differentiating factor to sell to the client and to sell them on why they should buy from you today.
I hated to eliminate my life insurance, but I had it, I know, for about 5 or 6 years. But
Yeah, it's a tough one to have to drop something like that.
yeah.
So you pretty much know what you need. You're just trying to get it put back in
Yeah.
place. You had it taken
Right.
care of and got to start over again.
Yes.
Okay, no problem.
So all of these questions are just kind of confirmation questions. You could call these even trial closes. So you know you need this coverage. You know you wanted it. The idea here is just to get it back in place to what you had, something similar to what you had in the past, correct?
So I'm a broker for the state of Virginia. So I work with about 35 or more of the top insurance companies. And, my job is simple. It's just to get you qualified for the lowest monthly price. That's my main goal.
Hmm.
And this is our introductory statement. This just tells the client who we are, why we're calling, and why the prospect should care. Again, we're a broker. We differentiate what it is that we do with different products. And so what we can do for you is get you the best price. Again, my advice here to Josh, and if you're in this position where somebody says they had coverage with another company, it's likely they may be thinking about getting coverage again from that company. So this is where you really want to emphasize how you are different. So because the fact that she dropped the policy because the prices, she couldn't afford it, implies that the price was high. And this is where you can use in this section to ad lib in an extent to say, hey, not only am I a broker, but I represent a lot of companies. And unlike the other company had, which is great, they can't shop it for you. We can. And in many cases, we can get you a much lower policy at a much higher amount of coverage. Sounds good, doesn't it, Mrs. Prospect? Perfect.
So it is all based on your age and your health. Are you a smoker?
No.
And now we're getting into some of the health questions, so let's continue to listen.
What's your birthday? Okay. And do you have any major or mild health concerns of any kind?
No, I'm diabetic.
Taking pills or insulin?
Insulin.
Any diabetic complications like neuropathy or anything like that?
No.
Okay.
And notice how this is very important for new agents out there. You just don't ask, hey, do you got asthma? Great, and then move to the next health issue. Like he did with diabetes, you follow up by saying, do you take an inhaler? How long have you had asthma? Or if you have the diabetes question, do you take pills or insulin? When were you originally diagnosed with diabetes? Is it type 1, type 2? Do you have diabetic neuropathy? You really want to dig layer after layer, because if you don't do this kind of digging, then a lot of times what happens is when you go to apply with a carrier, you'll get declined and you'll lose a sale. And this is imperative for telesales to pick the right carrier up front, because, hey, they may get tired of being on the phone with you and just simply hang up. So very important to get to brass tacks and get the details when it comes to the client's health.
Now, as far as what you're looking to cover with this, are you looking to cover a burial, a cremation? Have you figured that out yet?
I had thought about cremation.
Kind of thinking cremation, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have a pen and paper handy by chance?
I can get it.
So the crazy thing is we're already literally less than 5 minutes in the call, and we're getting right down to the close. We're at this point, we're going to start asking about questions about, or I should say statements about what our policy is, how it works, what the benefits are, and then start showing the quotes to the client. Again, why we're saying the quotes, go get a pen and paper to do this, is because we want the client, again, thinking about, hey, we're going to get something. We're not going to spend 30 to 45 minutes on the phone with a person in just a too long sales presentation, which frustrates a lot of people. Here we're going to finally get to the point. So we have a saying in our agency which is quote fast and then sell slow. So we do a lot of more of the sales process if necessary at the end of the sales call in order to solidify some of the questions they may have, because they'll have questions. And questions aren't necessarily objections, they're just an opportunity to close, is how we look at it. So as the client's doing this, just as this runs, you'll also want to quote on insurancetoolkits.com. We recommend that, or bestplanpro.com, to underwrite your client as well as run prices. So you're doing this while the client gets this information, but also while they're telling you the health questions as well.
And I did want to ask you too, because some of these carriers accept certain payment methods, others don't. Do you have a regular bank account, or are you just using like a green Direct Express card for everything?
And so we ask this because, again, selecting the carrier, you need to know how they are banking. If a client has a Direct Express card, then you may not be able to use carriers that don't accept Direct Express. So you want to ask this before you get to the ultimate selection of the carrier, so you can narrow down the options, then present the best option to the client.
I have a check.
Okay. So we'll start off small here. You know, you're looking to just cover cremation, so we'll start off with a bare minimum of 5,000. And that would at least just take care of that alone. You'd be looking at 22 a month for that. From there, we could jump it up to 10,000, which would be 43 a month. And then finally, I'll show you 15,000, which we can go higher if you want to.
No, I'll probably have to stick with the 22.
Okay. Is that kind of just what's comfortable for your budget?
It is.
Okay. So if you want, just since we're here, I could split the 5 and the 10 for you. If you wanted to look at like 7,000, would be $30.95 a month, if it would make any difference for you.
All right, so believe it or not, the deal is closed at this point. Now, there are some things here that I think Josh could absolutely improve on, and it's especially here at the close. Here are the main issues that I see. So first of all, before we've even pitched the client, we don't know if the client doesn't understand if this is whole life or if it's term insurance. The client doesn't understand, is it first day full coverage or is it a 2-year waiting period? There's some issues with the actual value of the coverage that I think before we pitched, we should have covered that and said, hey, here's how your plan works. Here's the benefits of it. Here's why you're going to take it and why it's the best deal. And part of the reason we do that, of course, is because we want to build a moat or a wall around our client, figuratively speaking. We don't want our prospects to replace our existing coverage. Part of that deal is to provide a competitive price, but it's also to build in value so the client understands better why they should pick us and then also keep us when the next agent calls, because the reality in this business, you will have another agent dial behind your call, and so you have to have the client prepared to defend what it is that you sold them. So this is why we build value. This is why that we have to add that in, and this, to me, is a mistake that Josh needs to rectify to prevent replacements and people lapsing and building a little bit more strength and retention of the deal. And that's a wrap. So Josh ended up writing the deal, getting the policy approved. And what do you think about this particular sales call? Did you like it? Did you learn something? Please feel free to comment below. Let us know what you think about this particular call. And if you like this style of content review, we appreciate it. And if you haven't already, check out davidduford.com to learn more about what it's like to join us in our final expense agency. Josh is a part of our free lead program, selling final expense over the phone. We also have opportunities to buy your own leads to sell final expense over the phone, as well as if you're an old-fashioned agent, which is nothing but wrong with that, and want to sell in person. We have training and programs to help you sell final expense in person as well. Thank you so much for watching.